Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Friday happy hour number 26. Oh, wow. What makes today even more special is the fact that it is the final hours of the transfer deadline day. Right now, everybody is making moves. Everybody is out there trying to get the last acquisition to the last reinforcement, and we're trying to go for the Premier League. Like, everybody's trying to improve, and Man United right now, I feel like we're trying right now. We will have to talk about the fact that we got Sofian Amrabat in the building. We got Reguilon in the building. Oh Lord, it's really happened. It's happened. I was so nervous about that Amrabat transfer because I thought it was going to be another Frankie de Jong. But anyway, to join me on the transfer talk, to join me also, we might play a little quiz. We might just keep an eye on what's going on the transfer window signings and outgoings, because we know Man United needs to have some outgoings. I am joined by some very distinguished guests today. Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, they've won this happy hour quiz before. So I'm joined by esteemed champions. I'd like to welcome, first of all, none other than, he's actually, ladies and gentlemen, the last time he won this was over 2 months ago, and he ran away and never came back to defend his title. I'm talking about from my boy, Roland.
So you say, you good?
What's good, brother? Happy Friday, fam. It's good to have you here.
Happy Friday. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. I know it's been a minute. I haven't been able to defend my title. You know, we had our little talks. I'm back.
Yes.
I'm back.
You're back. Yes. To join today's show, I'm also really privileged to be joined by the one and only, the man with a mask. You know, he's none other than the Manchesterunited. What's good, bro?
The time is now.
The time is now. The time is now.
Is happening.
Here we go.
Yes. By the way, guys. I mean, a few hours ago, right? We got the here we go from Fabrizio, Sofian Amrabat. Roland, are we done and dusted? Are we good to go now to challenge for the title? How are you feeling about Man United's transfer window right now at this moment? With,
I'm gonna say title. Let's relax right there. But I think now looking at the squad, there's good depth quality now. There's tactical flexibility. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those ones where I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, when we sign Mount, where is he gonna fit in here, and this and that, and we need this type of midfielder to help, progress things and move forward into the new phase." But ultimately, there's going to be so many different situations, so many different games. A lot of us were complaining at the lack of rotation from Ten Hag last season. Now you've got, a lot of midfielders, a lot of forwards, a lot of different combinations and synergies you can create on the pitch. The defense scares me a little bit. I can't lie to you. We're looking a bit short in that area. Ran with his injury problems. It would have been nice to have gotten somebody other than Johnny Evans. That's a bit disappointing. But ultimately, I think the squad is good enough to go again and challenge for top 4. And then, as progress, I want to see a couple more trophies. A couple more trophies may help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say Premier League yet because we have a striker who's 20 years old. You can't put too much pressure on him. They're already trying to put pressure on my Ghanaian brother, Kobe Mainoo. I don't want them to put pressure on him. He's only 18, so let's see.
Yeah.
Slow step game every game.
Yo, Manchesterunited, bro. How do you feel about the fact that we also got Reguilon? We have to recognize Reguilon also as he's an acquisition that, we obviously had a left back crisis, unprecedented crisis, and now had to, consider Cucurella, and then we ended up with Reguilon. How you feel about that, bro?
Well, I think that the interesting part about that is I saw a lot of people who were pretty upset. They were very angry when we saw the Reguilon deal. The way that I see it is we had a a problem that just came about. It was very sudden, with the injury crisis. And yes, he might not be the ideal left back. He might not be the guy that you maybe wanted to go to. But he provides a solution. It's a temporary thing. It's a loan. There's that option to break that loan in January. And one thing that maybe not a lot of people know is that he actually was, I believe he grew up in Feyenoord. So he knows some of that Dutch football.
Hey, Dutch football. We like it. We need it. We need more of that. Isn't it funny that a lot of Ten Hag signings is players that he's worked with before, he's had a history with, and or like it's like there is like a strong connection. If a player makes an impact on Ten Hag, whether it is an opposition player or as a player that is trained under him, it's kind of impressive that he goes back for that player. There's something about his the way he specs his players that I kind of respect. I'm really curious. Before actually we move on to the next point, I want to say big shout out to everybody that's joining us right now. We got Vibes FC in the building. We got CM in the building. Vibes says Rolando Haaland. I see what you did there, Vibes. That's funny. Vibes also says, fun fact, that's Ronald's uncle with the basketball behind him. Hey, yo, isn't that? What coincidence is this, Roland, that everybody's gonna have a bald head in the family?
Bro, that's Michael Jordan, man. Michael Jordan there, and then
Charles sir. Yeah. shout out to MJ. And CM says blessings to everyone inside Boss Roland and the Execution. Shout out to you, CM. Vibezinho. Yes. Anyway, so real quick, guys, I just want to take a good look around and just be like, who has had the best transfer window so far? Like, I know it's like it's like things are still happening, but when you just look around and glance, who are you guys feeling like? Because I'll like give it a little bit of context. I feel like for me, actually, before I say the club that I'm thinking about, I'm curious what you guys are gonna say. I have this other team in mind, and I don't know if that's what everybody's gonna say. Majikusha, who's had the best transfer window?
Who has had the best transfer window?
Yeah, so far.
I think when you look at it in terms of cash, it has to be Brighton. They have made so much money.
These ways to look at it like that, true. Yeah.
When you look at it as far as rebuilding or reinvesting into the squad, I think West Ham have done a great job.
That was my answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably the two ways that I would look at it. If you're taking strictly financially, then Brighton, oh my gosh. But yeah. So
money grows on trees for Brighton, If yeah, man. What about you, Roland? What are you thinking?
I mean, like Manchesterunited said it right, man. Like West Ham, that rebuild that they did at that midfield after letting go of Declan Rice for the 105 million or whatever it was. You bring in Kudus, you bring in Edson Alvarez, and then you bring in James Ward-Prowse. And I think, what did that total up to? Was it 110 million all in, or just under 100? Because this was the question I put out there. I was like, who's the director of football that was able to secure those three players to rebuild that area? Because you know how it goes. Whenever there's the £100 million signing, and we see Spurs. Remember what happened with Gareth Bale? They signed 7 players. Look what happened to Spurs. That Spurs side with those 7 players added into the squad, it was poor quality for what they exchanged, right?
True.
Look at what Villa did with Grealish. That rebuild helped. It helped. It wasn't like spectacular, but it was good. And then obviously you bring in Emery, shore things up, and you see how they've now started to climb. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen with West Ham and those additions that they've made. You know, Edson Alvarez, versatile player, can play in midfield, centre back, Mexico international. Kudus, I'm scared. You know, being a Ghanaian myself, yeah, I'm scared, yeah, because if we look at his talent, yeah, he can reach the top of the game. He really can.
Yeah.
However, when he's in, you know, under David Moyes, I'm not so sure he can, you know, get to that level, because there'll be a bit of a fight in terms of how to develop him truly. If he banks 100% on his attacking side of his game, he can become one of the world's best. But at West Ham, they're not gonna. I don't think they'll allow him the freedom to be able to express that. So all I know is that the move for him is gonna give him exposure to the Premier League. There's people that haven't seen him before, and they'll be able to see him on a weekly basis and see how good he is. And then obviously with James Ward-Prowse, it's like he's a very steady kind of player. He'll give you 7 out of 10 every single game. He gives him a larger platform to play at West Ham as well. And obviously, you know, he's a set piece like general. So
maestro.
They've really rebuilt well, and I think they've quite one of the best summers too.
Yeah, I feel like that's, you know, there was a statement that I came across that was like, West Ham, you know, sold Declan Rice for 100 mil and got 3 players that are better than Declan Rice. You can make an argument for that. You know what I mean? And
different profile, but yeah,
you can make the argument.
Different profiles. You know, they're bringing, like, Ward-Prowse is definitely gonna beat that David Beckham free kick record. He's gonna score a free kick this season. I kind of just feel the way Kudus is able to draw fouls. Like, if you saw Kudus for you know, in the World Cup, he was the lifeline of Ghana. You know, and you know, he was just like rolling, like, you know, you can like testify. He's so versatile too. You know, you can put him in different positions and he plays really well. So the thing about him is like his skills, the way he carries the ball, man, and the free kicks that he's gonna win. Look at that. It's like a match that like maybe somebody in West Ham thought of was just like, yes, Ward-Prowse goals. You'll see 2-3 set piece free kicks from Ward-Prowse this season. You heard it here first. You know.
I think even with Edson Alvarez, you know, I guess he is a CDM. He's not going to be, I guess, the closest to, I guess, to Declan Rice. But when you think about that third piece, though, I mean, I feel like I would compare him to a maybe not so good defensively Lissandro. You know, that's how he always is composure. And, you know, I've seen him at the national level, and, you know, it's very like, you know, like at the back, and there's never any fear, and, you know, he can just, you know, dodge a player or skip past a player or two, and then just put a nice pass.
Yeah. Okay. So now there's the reinforcement. You guys didn't mention City. Like, City did some reinforcement in some kind of interesting like way where it's hard to, like, when you just want to travel in a dominating way, like the way they did, it's kind of hard to also say, okay, where our weaknesses really. But in your opinion, like, I think they've got Mateus Nunes, is that his name again?
Kovacic,
Guardiola, you know, and it's just like, do you guys think like they've actually covered because they've also had some significant outgoings too, you know, the Gundogans, you know, and the Mahrez's and Cancelos. So it's like, you know, how are you guys feeling? Because like there's this like weird crackhead theory I had at the beginning of the season that City are gonna have the biggest regression this season, you know, or they're gonna be one of the teams with one of the biggest regressions. Like, but obviously they've started very strong. So, but you know, hopefully, I don't know. Kevin De Bruyne's injury, you know, and also another key piece has to go. Pep Guardiola's, you know, has having a back surgery, but like whatever, he's working through Zoom. But I don't know. I'm curious about you guys. What's your take on Man City and their reinforcements, guys?
I mean, when you win the treble the previous season, you don't really have much improvements to make to the squad. Like, so obviously we're United fans, so we know how our team was when we were winning things. We weren't really making surgery to our side every summer, right? It was adding a few key pieces, letting a few players go, to just make sure that we're continually refreshing the squad because it's important for competition, right? You bring in Gardner, who is one of the highly rated centre backs in his age group in the world, to come in there, and he's gonna be there for the next 5-10 years potentially at City. Has really had, as I said, this one of those things where he got the platform to play in the Premier League in the Wolves team, and everyone's been able to see his talent, and they've been able to take him, probably because they weren't able to get Paqueta, but you never know. They could also add Paqueta too, because eventually I think Bernardo Silva will leave City, because he's been linked for a while to be moving on, and it hasn't happened. I think he signed a new contract, but I can see something happening where he leaves and Paqueta eventually joins them, because I think he's going to be when City enter the negotiations, he'll be right there. Kovacic is an underrated signing though. I really like Kovacic, man. Like, the only problem that is injuries. Injuries have really kind of hurt him and what people see of him. I mean, when you look at the player quality on the ball and off the ball, his defensive work is underrated as well. People sleep on it because they don't feel he's that kind of midfielder. But we're taking him and his experience and replacing that of Gundogan's, also very vital for that squad as well. So they've done some good business, man. I'm not gonna, and then obviously Doku as well. Doku, young, talented, wide man, kind of like a little bit different to what they've had over the last few years. They kind of went away from the fast, tricky type winger with Sane and Sterling and all of that, and they've kind of gone back in that same direction, which shows that Pep doesn't necessarily, he's like on a sliding scale. If he sees a player that he can, take and fit into his team, doesn't matter the attributes or, how maybe his game has changed. He's thrown a curveball at us. We didn't know Doku was going to be a Manchester City player. Because remember when he burst onto the scene, he was hot talent and all of this, and then obviously he was at the Euros. He had some good performances at the Euros.
Yes.
They kind of slid a little bit, and then we thought, okay, stagnant. He's gonna come into this Pep team. I don't know. It's gonna be tricky. There's some fullbacks are gonna be getting toasted this season. That's what I know. But hey,
Roland, I kind of feel like Reguilon has that kind of trajectory with most of the clubs that he's been at. He bursts into the scene, has a good start, and then fades away. And I hope that doesn't happen. Obviously, I was just like something that I peeped about his past, and being like, the guy has a good profile of being able to hop around the big clubs, Sevilla. He came up the ranks in Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. He's been there. He's been to Spurs, obviously. So it's like this guy is like, there's talent, but like, can Ten Hag unlock it though? Executioner, can he do it? Big up to everybody that's, before you answer about that, by the way, I want to hear your Reguilon response. I want to say shout out to UFT in the building. Shout out to Super Nick saying happy Friday. I love this lineup. Big up to you, Nick. We're just talking, just chilling. It is the transfer deadline day special. We are talking all transfer stuff as it's happening right now, just reflecting on some transfers. Make sure you hit the like button, by the way, and subscribe. And if you're watching us on Twitch, just like Valves, what up to you, Valves BTW? Valves, by the way, I like your name. Make sure you also join us on YouTube, by the way, Valves. Also, Vibes says, bots, what links to a center back in January called who? Execution, you know that?
It's a Vibes comment, so I'm not going to pronounce it out loud. That's all I'm going to say.
What's that? Who? Marlang Salang. What's that? Who? Marlang Salang.
This was Pochettino being asked about Malang Sarr just a few days ago. There's been so many outgoings and incomings in Chelsea. He was just like, I don't know who that is. In a pre-match press conference, But anyway, go ahead, Pochettino. What were you gonna say about Reguilon?
So I think I guess to go with your point of him starting off strong and then kind of getting there's two concerns there. The first one is, well, I don't think he has anybody at left back to compete with him, because we did loan out Alvaro Fernandez, so I guess maybe he's competing with the right backs. I don't know. So maybe I'm concerned that will affect how he comes into the squad. Now, if he comes in and has good performances and slowly starts to dip, maybe that's okay, because maybe by then Malacia or Luke Shaw do come back into the fold and, kind of have a chance to ease their way back in. So, I think, like I said, I see it as a short-term fix. I'm not mad about it, but I guess we can only see what it looks like. Even if he doesn't do that great of a job, I mean, as long as he could do some sort of function and we're not letting in goals from the left constantly, then should be okay.
I hear you. So like Vibe says, let them know about the Reguilon's Premier League debut. It was the thing about it is, like, I'm a little hopeful because it was a Jose Mourinho signing, and Jose Mourinho's talent ID is something to trust, just given his track record, and it was like the first guy he went for when he got to Spurs. So and then his Premier League debut, it was a Carabao Cup win over Chelsea. And then after that, he had that, he came to Old Trafford, and, it was not a good day at Old Trafford. It was a 6-1 loss to Spurs. And Reguilon shined in that game. I can't remember. I think he had at least one or two assists. And he it's just one of those things where I just feel like, no vibes that. Oh yeah, that was a Premier League debut, but yeah, exactly. But the Carabao Cup game was when he's the first game that he played for Spurs. So anyway, we'll see. Obviously, we have to support him. I feel like it might be one of those situations where it might work out for us, because he wants to show the world what he can offer. It might be a win-win situation where it's like, all right, we need somebody to cover, big man, and he's like, all right, I'll cover, so that maybe you guys at the end of the transfer window, you can come and make this on a permanent basis. That's, at least that's how I feel about Reguilon.
And I think, kind of going back to the Man City thing, I know we covered most of it, but it's always interesting with City. I feel like the most unexpected people just leave, and somehow they're still able to carry on. Like it's one of those that, I think we've seen it in previous seasons, with Sterling or other players, where you're just like, whoa, what do you mean? And they just managed to just seamlessly go through. But yeah.
But you can't keep happening like this, like with Jesus, it was a very good let go, because you can see his injury record is not good, right? He's just like, and it was already starting to be like that. He was like having a few little absentees, moments of absence in Man City, but they got rid of him quickly. Sterling, I'm just, Sterling still has a lot to offer. I was still surprised about that. And they've let go of many players like Sané, like the Angelinos, and you're like, what? That doesn't make sense, But the way, I know Roland said raised Kovacic, but the way Gundogan used to unlock some deadlock situations, like 3 or 4 Premier League games that City win by 1 goal margin, and those points really make the difference when you look at the Premier League at the end of the season. But the way that Gundogan is able to do that, Kovacic can't seem like he's a ball recycler, and it doesn't seem like he has a knack for goal as much as Gundogan does, So I feel like that's partially why, Man City they're gonna struggle. I know right now it's still looking good, it's still smooth sailing, but something is gonna happen. I don't know, Roland. What you got to say about this?
You raised a good point with the different type of player Gundogan and Kovacic are, in terms of some of the impacts that they could make on this City squad and in the games that they play. Now, my thing is, when we're speaking about their ability to just take players out of the squad and then completely switch it around and go left and bring in another player, is just like, it's a kind of a testament to the groundwork that they do on, making sure that they can have a core squad of players that actually can carry out what Pep is trying to do. And whilst, because like you look at, let's say Calvin Phillips, he didn't have many minutes at all last season. This season, I expect him to step up massively. He's had a year under the radar, and it really happens with a lot of players under Pep. They struggle first year because you're coming into a team and into a coaching setup that, there's an over reliance on your mind. It's not about your feet; it's really about your mind.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
And I expect a big year from Calvin Phillips because he's not lost. They didn't sell him, so it means that they truly believe in what talents he has. He's gonna have to come in and be an understudy in a lot of games, but an understudy to Rodri, who's had like an amazing, like rise to where he's at. He's only 27, so there's still more to go for him. But I expect a big season from Calvin Phillips, and that's what I'm saying. These little things here are going to become differences for City. I can't really see past them for winning the league. I mean, I think again they're going to be the first team, unfortunately, to win the Premier League four times in a row. If there's going to be a challenger to that, you can't look past Arsenal and what Arteta's been able to do there. It's going to be difficult for them for sure, and obviously they had a big setback with Timber, going down with the ACL on the first game of the season, and that was a crucial guy for them. And it's unfortunate that they didn't sign anybody to maybe as a short-term replacement just to kind of help build up or bulk up the squad a little bit. But who knows? There could be a surprise. Maybe United with the depth and quality that they have now could enter the fray. I don't know. I mean, we're going to be very over reliant on goals from Rashford again. I don't want to be over reliant on goals from Haaland. He's only 20 years old, and I'm not so sure what he has to offer. I know he's very rapid. I know he can hold the ball up. I know he's got I know he's got those elements to his game, but he's still learning. So how can we expect him to have a 20-goal season this year? If he does, it's great, but I don't know where it leads us, to be honest with you. And so I can't really look past City, even if they've lost some experience and some crucial players. They've made some really good signings again and refreshing the squad. Continue to keep competition, so they'll be there again. And then they got Haaland. He's a freak of nature, man. So he's gonna keep scoring goals.
All right. Yo, we just got the word in. Now it's official. I mean, we already heard the here we go, but it wasn't like the announcement had been made, but now it's official from the Man United Twitter account. Sofian Amrabat joins Man United on loan. He is a raid. It's official. Because I think, just before the show started, I was just checking on the website being like, when is it going to go up on the website or on the Twitter account? Something official related to the club, And the only thing, guys, that was on the website was the Johnny Evans one. I want to just really touch on that. I want to get your... How you guys feeling about that one? And then but the Johnny Evans, are you happy? Are you
I was trying to look at the signing on my phone. You said am I happy with Johnny Evans?
Yeah. It's like, where are you on the spectrum with Johnny Evans?
Well, this guy just came in for vibes, man. Hey, let me take it here for a bit, bro.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a good addition as far as experience. Maybe some of those defending, youth players. It's interesting. The focus I feel like we've had this particular summer with a lot of outgoings of our under 23s type of squad players. I feel like there's been a heavy focus on kind of trimming that squad down as well. Things saw Mendy go, we saw Hurada go. We saw various players leave, and maybe not for the best of prices, but I think the looks like the new strategy is maybe having that buyback clause. So I think somebody like Johnny Evans will be good for maybe like a mentorship type of deal. I think that's probably, you think kind of like Lee Grant, right? Maybe type of...
They should have given him a mentorship contract then. But just like... You know?
Liga is a good one, but Liga came there for the pictures, man. He was there so he could be next to the hair and that, like that.
Yeah, he was holding the substitution sign.
I remember that. No, everybody was cooking him that day.
Fully Grant. Tom Heaton is the one that like I feel like he's actually a good goalkeeper in there. We just never go. You know, like the goalkeeping position is so funny. You know, like sometimes, you know, there's the unfortunate situation where something happens and then you get your chance and you can show the world that there's something as a number two, you know, but then sometimes there's those situations where the number two he just never really gets to graduate to become a number one, you know, like it's a funny little thing. You know, we had what's our Argentinian brother's name that was a goalkeeper that was so good? Romero. Yes.
Yeah, Sergio Romero, yeah.
I love Sergio. I was like, man, can we please have more Sergio? But the hair never really got injured or, you know, on a long-term basis or whatever. And I feel like we would have been fine if Romero was just like our goalkeeper even in the Premier League, you know? You know, it's such a very interesting thing. And now we actually also have a new goalkeeper, by the way. Does anybody know his name?
I can't pronounce the name, please. Don't. I can't pronounce his name.
I've seen the post on Twitter, but I don't even know what his name is. It starts with an A, I think.
All I know is that when Onana left Ajax, Ten Hag tried to sign him at Ajax, and it didn't go through for whatever reason. So for everybody that's thinking that, you know, this is just a random signing, like Ten Hag has definitely recommended this guy. So he fits what he wants as a keeper, let's say. So
word. All right. Well, let's see if he'll actually fit on match day. Shout out to Altay Bayindir. Let's just big up the guy. Man from Fenerbahce, new acquisition goalkeeper for Man United, 25 years of age. You know what? Fred did send a welcome message, you know, like to him, and you know what? This guy. It doesn't, for me. It really doesn't make sense because I feel like we let go of Kova. Kova was good. Kova had, like, for me, I don't feel like he failed his test. I don't know why we just like let go of Kova and got this guy, but you know, Ten Hag knows what Ten Hag is doing.
Players want to play, right? Like Kova's 20 years old. He wants to play first team football. I can't blame him. Like, because there was
this guy's 25 years old that just came here.
It's a little bit different, right? Like, because with him, he's been a number one goalkeeper. You get a chance to go to Manchester United, you're not going to turn it down, like in that kind of regard. Whereas Kova's been at Manchester United. He's grown up here. He kind of knows the environment. He knows that they just bought a new keeper. So let me go and take my experience in Leverkusen and be the number one there and do my thing. Like it is what it is. The goalkeeper situation is interesting now. Now we've got a completely revamped department. So, you know.
What do you guys think was going to happen over there at Arsenal with the goalkeeper situation while we're at it? Is there going to be is it going to be fire? Is it going to work?
Because it's
Champions League goalkeeper, Premier League goalkeeper. Like, I don't know how.
It's not going to work because it's kind of like you know, at PSG with when it was it was Donnarumma and then Donnarumma and Buffon, or was it Donnarumma and Navas?
I feel like it might have been Donnarumma and Navas.
I think it was Navas. I think.
Yeah, Navas. Yeah. So that was a bit of a strange situation where Donnarumma was the league keeper, and then Navas was the Champions League keeper, and then it got to a point where they said, "No, Navas, you're gonna sit down." And Donnarumma was just the number one, and then Navas had to go to Forest halfway through the season because he wasn't getting any games. So, and then obviously the David Raya deal is like it's a loan, right? There's an obligation though, right? To buy.
It's like an obligation to buy next summer.
Next summer.
Yeah.
But then Ramsdale, like he's been their number one, comfortable. It's a bit strange. I don't know.
It's a really strange one, and I feel like on paper, maybe as a theory, it might work, but like in practice, it just shows that a goalkeeper and the defenders need to form a certain chemistry. They need to have certain experiences, and if you think you're ironing out mistakes with Ramsdale and a certain centre back, when Raya comes in, they're gonna repeat that mistake, and that's only in the long term gonna set you back. Like and they let in 2 goals versus Fulham, and I feel like as well, because we're gonna play Arsenal very soon, on Sunday. They're there for the taking. Like that they could probably still overwhelm us because they're at home, and they've got the confidence of being at home. But if we start off this game right, how so far Rashford gets that first chance in the game before everybody gets a chance, and if that chance goes in, guys, we're cooking. I don't know. Well, on Arsenal, this is like I'm curious. Am I the only one that's a little bit too overconfident, or are you guys like feeling like it's gonna be a draw? Also, Super Nick, by the way, said what happened to Anders Lindegaard? Oh man, that Danish brother.
He disappeared. He
disappeared. Yeah, take it away, guys. I'm curious your thoughts.
Well, I mean, what I was going to mention regarding the goalkeeping situation is, so I actually, when I was a kid, I used to play goalkeeper, and I always said, and this is probably also the mentality why I never made it into the pros, never had the skills, but the best job ever is backup or third choice goalkeeper, because you just chill. That's all you
do. You're reckless. I think you should.
Everybody knows it.
He said the best job is what? Being third choice goalkeeper.
Because, at the end of the day, the likelihood of the 2 guys in front of you getting injured out for a long term is very slim. So you're just there collecting the piece, right? But when you have a backup guy that's almost just as good or just as good as your first choice, that's when you get some sticky situations, I think kind of like Dean Henderson, De Gea, you mentioned Donnarumma and Navas. It never works out when they're that, like when you have 2 guys that are at that same level.
Yeah, it's a wild one. That one. It's like, yeah, we'll see. It's just time will tell. Roland, I don't know. Do you said your piece about if it might work, the Champions League goalkeeper and Premier League goalkeeper situation, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's gonna work there, but just touching on the Arsenal game. It really depends, man, on the personnel first and foremost, who's actually going to be on the pitch, and then how Ten Hag sets them up. Because those bigger games that we had last year, there were question marks, especially away from home, from Ten Hag in terms of how he set up. Went into the game where one wrong personnel choice led to a whole load of mistakes, and then we ended up losing games by large margins. So for me personally, I want to see us have a bit of solidity in that midfield. There needs to be someone partnered next to Casemiro in a pivot, and then potentially, instead of maybe playing Antony, you play Bruno on the right, so that when we don't have the ball, he can drift inside and then pack the midfield to make it a little bit difficult for people to play through us, for us to play through us, for example. But then also the key thing that I've seen from United over the last 10 years that we don't do, especially away from home. Yeah, we've had our games where we've won a game here and there against some of our rivals and whatnot, but it's not consistent because for some reason, certain players seem to want to put everything into the game and others don't. So in this Ten Hag team where we're supposed to be pressing and counter-pressing team, a team he wants to make the best in world football in transition, everybody needs to be on that. For everyone needs to be on that kind of thing. Like So the key thing that I watched in the Spurs game, that's our first big game of the season, right? And you clearly what happened. There were players who were not pressing. I saw Rashford walking around, and this is not a shot at Rashford. I saw him walking around. This is not what you're supposed to be doing in this type of game. Everybody in cohesion has to press.
Yeah.
You can't have one person go, because I always see Bruno go, but no one's following him, and you can see him gesturing. Come, we have to press together. If everybody doesn't do that, we're gonna lose the game. That's how I see it, because you need to work hard off the ball. Like, otherwise, the tactics won't work. Like, it's just simple as, like, he sets you up to press teams, press them into submission. You win the ball high, and then we can continue our attacks. And that first half against Spurs, that was what was happening.
Yeah.
People were talking about, Mason Mount, because the result was negative, right? I saw that game, Mason Mount recovered the ball 7 times. Now, it's not his fault that we didn't put the ball in the net after those ball recoveries. You see what I'm saying? Like, and so this is why I say that Mason Mount is a good signing, because he is exactly what he needs. Imagine we had everybody doing the same things in cohesion. So much better on the pitch. So that's the thing I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for some cohesion. I'm hoping for every single player to be pressing in unison, to be organized, have the ball, like, work hard. Like, that's because in those games, working hard, that intangible is so important. Like, because you're gonna have 1 moment, 2 moments of that's crucial, and if you score, it could be the difference between you winning, losing, or drawing the game. Like, you're not going into that game or no, that's not gonna happen. It's gonna be a tight game. But last year was tight as well. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we lost the game 3-2. So, it's one of those, man. That's what I'm looking for, to be honest.
No, you're right on that cohesion point. It's the only thing that's stopping us from actually being really ruthless. Like, I feel like we've started to kind of see like a little bit of a higher frequency of attacks, and like we're kind of in a little bit of a defensively we're okay, but like it's just that when we're attacking, sometimes things just, the final ball is missing, either underhead passes or overhead passes, or the person that's like, the pass is meant for, like, Antony's not really ready. He's not really as close to his man as he needs to be able to like accelerate and reach that pass. And it's like, he looks back and he's like, no, you know what I mean? It's like that cohesion is the difference, is everything. It's just like when your teammates know what you're going to do the moment before everybody else, before the opponents, that's when you know that the team is actually in unison. And yeah, if only we can get that. And the weird thing is also, like, once the season kind of starts, there's certain like rhythms in the season. There's a moment when we're playing like 2 games a week, and there's the moment right now where it's still like it's still like a little calm, and like different managers treat those moments differently. I heard Jurgen Klopp talking about Darwin Núñez saying, yeah, he will get his chance, but like I was more focused on him, unleashing him more during the time when the season gets busy. But like now he's, taking his chance, and he's made me really like have to think about it because of how he's performed. And, it's one of those things I'm just like, how does Ten Hag view this period of the season versus another period of the season, and how is he going to utilize the squad? Because now we have a little bit of depth. We should be able to, Christian Eriksen knows his spot is under threat. We should be able to see Christian Eriksen go to the next level. Like anytime he gets a little opportunity, he should make sure that he utilizes it. By the way, big up to people that are just tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. Mustafa is in the building, says Antony is there to help. In Antony we trust. I love it, Mustafa. I think I saw Mustafa at the Antony FC convention. In Antony we trust. IAWT. Yo, guys, real quick, as it's transfer last dying moments of the transfer window, like I just want to really touch on the fact that Donny will not move tonight. There's an update from Fabrizio Romano 13 minutes ago. How are we feeling about this? Are we going to be Is he going to be a surprise player for us, or is this just going to be the same Donny again, getting Donny minutes? You know, I'm curious. I'm curious how you guys are feeling about this. Big up to you, Vibe, saying, what time is the quiz? My kids want to sleep, but I told them to wait. Vibe says transfer, last dying moments of the transfer window, brother. We were looking at that. We couldn't be focused on the quiz when like Fabrizio is updating. Like I check Fabrizio's Twitter more than like messages from my partner, you know. So I don't know I don't know how we would we'll be focused on the quiz right now. But how you guys I'm curious, what were you gonna say, Machikish? Now Roland, you can chime in.
So you tell me you look at the phone and you hear the notification and it'll be like a text, you like swipe, but then you see the tweets.
It's like, bro, even though the phone and the computer, when you open the browser, and you type like F, it doesn't even say Facebook no more. It just says Fabrizio, like goes like, it's like Fabrizio. Oh, can we get another here we go, please? And I was actually thinking, I was like, wow, what about Fabrizio's personal life as well? Like this is like another crazy little thing to think about, be like, how busy is this guy with so many tweets every like couple of minutes? It's crazy. But yeah, anyway, talking about Fabrizio, 1 minute I will go. He just said also Mason Greenwood to Getafe, deal now sealed and signed. Manchester United player give final green light. Deal with Lazio collapsed, and now Getafe get to sign Mason Greenwood. I'm not going to say anything about that one. Good.
Good for all parties involved. Yeah.
Good, right?
I mean, we did. I mean, I don't know about everybody else's view, but my thing is, United, the decision was right in the end, right? Like you're supposed to make an example of these situations simply because we, as the one of the biggest clubs in the world, you have to make a stand and say, look, like, we employ you, you have a duty to behave yourself on and off the field. If you don't, that's a breach of the trust that we have in you, so you have to leave. It's simple as. I don't understand why people are trying to turn it into all these different types of debates. Is me and you go to work and we do something like that and my work finds out, they'll fire you on the spot. It's the same type of situation. Like, so you have a duty to represent yourself in the right way. You're supposed to be a good human being, a good citizen, and if you don't do that, then you can't do anything about it. You have to leave. It doesn't mean his career should be over. Somebody else can take that baggage and take that, drama and whatnot. He'll still have his career in football. I don't know how successful he'll be, but good luck to him. Like, that's all it is. But what was the topic before that one? Who?
Before that one, Donny van de Beek staying. Yes,
Donny. Yeah, I'm sorry for the kid. Yeah, like, he's been brought into the mess. So when we signed him that season, we signed him. Like, I remember the rumors at the time was United and Oli specifically said he wanted Grealish, and United were like, we'll wait for Villa. If they go down, maybe we'll get Grealish at cut price. Instead, Grealish was the guy charging them towards relegation safety. Yeah,
yes.
Don't forget too.
Go on.
Don't forget too, he had the incident during the pandemic where he crashed the car and just dipped, and that was the moment that United just distanced themselves as well too. So speaking of player behavior, I mean, so then obviously, because the Grealish situation doesn't happen because United are being quoted 75 million or something like that, and they didn't feel like he was worth it. Fair enough. I mean, the following season he goes for 100, but anyway, it is what it is. Then Donny comes in, and you remember that day when we signed Donny van de Beek? It was very quick. So the rumors came out, and then literally a few hours later, he was a United player basically, and then
get Van der Sar giving his blessing, go and go to my club, and hopefully they look after you and all of this. Then he makes his debut. Did he score in his debut against Palace, or did he set up an assist? I think it was one.
He set up an assist, if I remember
He lost to
correctly.
Palace. He lost to Palace on the opening day of the season when he joined.
I think was that the game where he did the dummy.
Yeah, I think I think there was a dummy in there, and then somehow we scored and whatnot. But and then obviously he was basically fighting a losing battle under Oli. Oli didn't sign him, and so because Oli didn't sign him, and I get it, a lot we see it all the time in football. If a manager has a player that he hasn't signed specifically, he will be inclined to say, you know what, I'm not going to play you because I didn't sign you, and it's up to you to change my mind. And ultimately, Donny hasn't been able to change the minds of any manager. Also, let's not forget, he didn't have the greatest loan spell at Everton either. He goes there and he loses his place there too. So it wasn't really good. And I think that's partly due to lost confidence because he hasn't played football, regular football in a long time. And being a young player, you have to be playing regular football if you really want to keep your confidence up and whatnot. I think it's disappointing that he didn't decide to take any of the loan options that he had for himself, though. There was Lorient in France, which they're building a nice little team, There was Genoa in Italy. He also decided not to go there. I haven't seen him. I think I saw Monaco on the list, maybe even a team in Turkey as well. For me, I'm going somewhere to just rebuild my confidence. I need to rebuild because it's been so long since I've played first team football, and the fact that he's decided not to do that, I don't know, man. Because he's going to be kicking himself for the next few months whilst waiting for the January window to open up again, and who knows how much. Look how much his stock has fallen. A few years ago, he was one of the most talented midfielders in world football. We could say, or part of a good midfield with Ajax, let's say.
The chemistry that he had with De Jong, that was so instrumental. If you saw how they performed in the Champions League, you'll be like, there's a player in there. And Roland, I feel like we might just this might be a pleasant surprise. It might just if Donny something happens, I know the fact that we got Mason Mount, he's in front of him in the line, and but Ten Hag might just something can happen where we see Donny van de Beek getting a lot more minutes than ever before, and becoming more instrumental to Man United than we anticipated. I just want to say right now, officially, the transfer window has closed. I wanna just pass the question around to you guys and everybody that's tuned in right now. We have 12 people that are with us at this moment. I'm curious, who is the transfer that surprised you the most? Which transfer surprised you the most? I'll start with this answer first and say, for me, something that I did not expect was Ansu Fati going to who and no how funky what this is the guy who is supposed to be taking over Messi. They gave him the number 10 shirt in Barcelona, and obviously whatever his development there has been hampered by injuries and so forth, and also they had whatever Dembele competing with him, and now and Rafinha and so forth. But the main thing is it's surprising that he can come out of La Liga from Barcelona to Brighton, of all places. No disrespect to Brighton, but it's just shows ambition that Brighton has, and if it works out and he becomes one of those players that's he's a little bit of a Amad Diallo with more skill and a little bit more pace, and I don't know how you guys feel about that. And also I'm just curious about which transfer surprised you guys the most.
So of course the Ansu Fati one is just shocking. The guy that inherited Messi's number 10 is at Brighton now, and he's so young. So it's just a little bit of surprise, a little bit, The other one I would say is Sandro Tonali to Newcastle. I did not see that coming at all.
Good one.
I think he's a good player, but so typically, I remember because we were linked with him a couple of years ago, and it was just one of those Italian players don't leave Italy a lot, and there didn't seem to be gather any interest. So for him to go to Newcastle, of all places, just seemed very, very surprising to me.
True that. Yeah. Mustafa says Ansu Fati. Yep, it's like the Big Brother Africa, man. Vibe says Ansu Fati saw Spurs lose to Fulham and blocked and just Roland, which transfer surprised you the most, brother?
I mean, you know what? Until it collapsed, the Paulinho to Bayern Munich one was a big surprise. He came out of left field, like literally only a day ago. We was like, okay, they're preparing everything, and then obviously it collapsed somehow, and obviously that was a bit surprising because Bayern Munich generally they're very meticulous and they're very planned and measured with things. But it fell through at the last moment. So he's heading back to Fulham, and they got a game against City tomorrow, which is actually so peak. It's so peak. I know that the flight from Germany, from Munich to back to London isn't far, but yeah, like it's a couple hours. But damn, man, now you got to sleep on that disappointment to be ready for the game tomorrow. I don't think he's playing. He's starting the game on the bench, but.
He had said bye to people and shit.
I know he was on the phone to his family. I don't know if he's got a wife, girlfriend. He said, "Yeah, I'm good. We're going to Bayern Munich. We're going to Munich. I'm going to win the Champions League this season, only to be in a potential mid-table battle with Fulham."
Oh my God! He was probably in training, like just chilling on the phone or something,
Trust me, he was chilling. He was like, "Yeah, I'm good, man. After training today, I'm heading to the airport, going to Munich." I'm sorry,
that's the thing.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. In terms of surprising signing, the Doku one for City was surprising to me. Because he was a player, as I said, he had a nice little rise and talented player. Rennes got a very talented academy that they produce players from. You've seen players from there, and then obviously out of left field, City go and bring him in. Obviously they let go of Mahrez and he comes in. So like I'm interested to see what's going to happen with it. I'm interested to see what Pep's going to be able to do with him, because when I've watched him, very raw talent. Now we're going to see Pep, it's a project for him to be able to refine some of the attributes that he has and potentially have the same kind of level of output as somebody like Mahrez. Do you know what I mean? So that was a surprising one for me. Like I didn't expect him to sign for City. I didn't expect him to move from Rennes and to come to England. So yeah, that's a bit interesting.
Yeah, I was literally like, when I saw that news,
Sancho.
I didn't even know the guy.
What's another one good too is,
which one?
I think let's all take a moment to laugh at Liverpool because these man literally went to the
end. This is like kind of good. I ain't gonna lie.
The end of the transfer list. They said
they went for Endomy.
you know how Magic Krishna, they were like, okay, Enzo, we didn't get Caicedo, we'll get Endo, the mixture of both of them. And then it's bro, and then they got played also the fact that like people knew, like, because of that way the Caicedo deal collapsed, it's like we all knew how much money they got. It's like
they had a lot of money.
They were done really, really, really horribly wrong.
You know how silly that is, right? Because they actually had the money for Bellingham, right?
Yeah.
It's so stupid, because if you were able to find the money for Caicedo, the player that you wanted right there, Why didn't you bid it like as soon as you already outbid Madrid? Then you have to make a choice. At least he might not choose you, but fair enough. Like at least you went for the top target. Instead, you decided to say, "Nah, we're not gonna do that. Let's do a couple of smart signings." They don't really move the needle, but they're good players. Don't get me wrong, but they're not gonna be players that are gonna elevate your midfield. Because I don't know, as I said, I don't know what they're gonna do. Who's gonna sacrifice themselves for the sake of the team out of those two? I can't see both of them doing it, right? So that's why Endo comes in, because Endo will do it. I think he's the guy he's the full guy. He's gonna be able to sacrifice himself, and then you bid 115 for Caicedo. Only for you. Me, I would have went for Bellingham. I would have slapped it on the table at Dortmund. I say, take 115 for him. Yeah, even if it wrecks my transfers for the next season. Yeah, at least I'm telling them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that was wild. The way it rolled out, it was just so wild. It was a crazy, crazy transfer. The other thing that nearly had me geeked, by the way, I want to say Vibes reminded me of the transfer rumor when we had Neymar rumors.
I wanted him on loan, number 7. This was before he signed on. And I was like, hey, Qatari's up here. And as a little present from PSG with the little connection with the Qatari, give me Neymar on loan.
Who would you guys have gone for? Because Mbappe was also transfer listed, but who would you guys have gone for if, like, wish list talking right now, like being like, all right, Mbappe is available, Neymar is available. Which one are we going for?
Are you going Mbappe? You have to. It's Mbappe.
Yeah.
It's Kylian,
Hat trick in the World Cup final. You can't get away from that.
You can't.
Yeah.
We were watching that final. He was cooking. He knocked him out for dead. Literally. Yeah, I mean, it was a dream, man. For Neymar, it was a dream. I was like, this actually could happen. And it's so United of the last 10 years. Go and sign a big name, give him the number 7, and we're ready to go. Like, yeah, let's do this again. But I'm glad they stayed away from it. Because otherwise we wouldn't have the depth that we've kind of got now. So
thanks.
But Neymar was a bit of a dream. But at the same time, I've been looking into Neymar's career, and I'm like, he's done a lot. To be honest with you, he's done a lot for it. For he's only 31 as well. He's not that old. But if you listen to the interview that he gave about the heartbreak he had after the World Cup and stuff, he kind of just felt like this guy, he's now looked past, like, when you always wanted something and then you like it doesn't work out and you're like, you know what, I'm still gonna enjoy participating in football, but like I feel like the Saudi bag was the best move for him, because that's what he wants. He's got like a very, very a beautiful pay package, that we all saw on the internet and stuff. And it's just like, bro, Neymar at this point in his career, that's what he wants. I would have wanted the Neymar that it was going to Barcelona. That Barcelona Neymar at Man United, that would have been, we would have been cooking, Yeah. Mustafa says, I'm also surprised Kylian Mbappe didn't go to Madrid. Cole Palmer to Chelsea is also a little shocking. That was really shocking, Mustafa. Yeah. The Madrid one is like, bruh. How come, Kylian Mbappe and PSG go on this like crazy, crazy back and forth, the standoff between them. It was just so interesting to watch. But I want to just share this with you, Mustafa. Apparently, this is Cole Palmer in the Chelsea attack. Look at that. Apparently, that's Cole Palmer in the Chelsea attack. So yeah, that was surprising also, because he's a good talent. He's a really good talent. Vibe responds to Cole Palmer saying, yeah, Cole Palmer is the weirdest one. I'm telling you, Mendem, I have a theory about Todd Bowley. One thing you can credit Todd Bowley for is the fact that he cares about his club. He definitely is an owner that's showing a lot of care, and like he may not be doing it the right way or in a way that you agree with, but he's an owner that gives a damn, unlike the Glazers. Vibe says Todd Bowley.
Yeah, we shouldn't have put that one up.
Oh Lord. Get out of here, man.
Yo, vibes, you're crazy, fam. Yo, whatever's going on, that's wild, yeah.
That's wild. No, it's part of the it's part of the profile that I think the vision that he has. That's partially why he differed with Tuchel. Is part of the vision of what he has for Chelsea. He wants to sort of get young players, get them in long contracts, give them time to develop, and like get a coach who's good with young players or working with young players. And I see the Todd Bowley project. I see. For me, I know. A lot of people are like crazy American. He doesn't know what he's doing. He thinks he's buying a American football team. But for me, as a rival fan,
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it. I feel it. I can. He's cooking.
Like five years from now, Chelsea are gonna be a powerhouse with players that actually gel. What are you guys gonna say about that as we're wrapping up the show? By the way,
it's a little weird, man. It's a little weird. Like the strategy's all over the place. I mean, signing Cole Palmer for 40-odd million is crazy to me because it's like, for one, why did the player decide Chelsea is the right move for me when I reckon he'd have more opportunities to shine on a bigger platform, let's say with Man City, than he would at Chelsea? You've just taken yourself out of that environment into a completely new one where there's no guarantee you're going to be a certified fixture for this side. You actually have to perform for that to actually happen. You're not going to get time to, develop and continue to develop and whatnot. And then at the same time, like, I don't know, like it's kind of similar to what they were doing before. It's just that they're not loaning the players out. They're gonna give them the platform to play, and the ones that do well and they feel that they can afford to let go, they'll let them go for a huge profit, let's say, or more money than they spent to bring them in. I mean, Caicedo one is a different story. Like that one, he's not going anywhere. The same with Enzo. Like, you're not going anywhere for a while until like something happens.
Until something, you're going to at least experience 3 managers if you're Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, like because the money they spent on those two alone, like you're not selling. You can't sell. What are you gonna sell them for? Unless we're just gonna keep inflating this damn market to the point where we're getting a £300 million player leaving the Premier League guys to Spain. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, man, with Chelsea. It's a weird one. It seems a little bit all over the place. Strategies all over the place. They're probably just going to stumble across something and it works. But right now, it doesn't look clear to me.
Yeah, it feels very erratic as far as the. It looks like they like target one specific position and then they just go with 5 different players.
What did you say, Machikushna?
That it feels very erratic.
Oh, okay. I wanted to clarify. Go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
I don't know what maybe it sounded like, but I said erratic.
Vibes is here. He's the pause police. That's why. But you go.
Yeah, no. That's not what I said. This is not it. How do I recover? So yeah, I mean, you had very different players, right? I don't know. I just you think like players like Mudryk, or as some people call him, Ukraine Bolt. But, it's just
Ukraine Bolt.
One of those. But it just doesn't seem to make sense. There doesn't seem to be a strategy. But that, then again, like you said, it could be something that maybe pays off in the long run. I mean, they are like 8-year contracts anyway, so they have time to develop. But who knows if they ever will. I don't know. I think ever since Todd Bowley came in, it seems like Chelsea went from like they fired Marina, which is the director of football there. kind of brought in new people, and I don't see the vision personally.
Yeah, you don't think they're cooking something in the long term?
I don't see it. I don't know personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell. Only time will tell. If on paper, Pochettino also he's got something to prove. I feel like he's got something to prove, and he wants to get people that say, "Oh yeah, you got the PSG, league title, whatever." That everybody can do that, and he's hopefully, well. Actually, not hopefully it works out, but because not at the expense of Man United. That's what I want to articulate. By the way, while we're wrapping up the conversation on transfers, I wanted to also touch on the fact that Romelu Lukaku, I think he's in Roma at the moment. I feel like Lukaku is a funny one because he seems like such a hated player all of a sudden, and I don't know. Do you guys feel like his career is gonna revive with Jose Mourinho, or like it's just a done? It's just a dub. It's done with Romelu Lukaku.
Lukaku's an interesting one, man. I actually called it. I said that he would move to Roma this summer. That was the only option I felt like he had, to be honest with you. After the Juve situation collapsed, like he's not going to go from Inter to AC Milan. Plus, they didn't really need, well, I don't know if they could afford him, to be fair. But I think, I don't know if he wanted that trouble, to be fair. But even then, he's one of them kind of people who don't care. Roma was the only place, and Mourinho's there. It's a player that, he started.
Work together, yeah.
When he moved to Chelsea, obviously that didn't work out. He didn't get a lot of game time, but we know that Chelsea's a bit of a different animal when it comes to young players and stuff. And then, he's had to really grind. Like, that's the thing about Lukaku that I like. Like, he's had to really grind for his position in the world, like, and just to be recognized. You've had to go on multiple loans, and then you rise to stardom. You come to United, and it doesn't really work out for you. You get involved in that mess, and then go away, go to Inter, have a setback in the first season with the Europa League final that they lost to Sevilla, and then you come back and you win the Scudetto, and then you move to Chelsea. You're huge for you. Go back to the club where it all started for you. It kind of, from a Premier League perspective, it doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now he's back under the manager that he said he wants to play for. Like, and he did have an opportunity in one season, get sacked, and then again. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting.
I feel you, bro. Hold on, real quick. I just want to say big up to Omo joining us. Omo Solo, what's good, bro?
I'm good.
I know you slept and you just woke up. I can tell you that Mason Greenwood is gone and Sofian Amrabat is here. I don't know what time you went to bed.
Deadline day. I didn't pay attention to the deadline day. I'm like, let me set my alarm so when I know everything is over, wake up and be surprised. I want to be surprised. I'm tired of everybody actually waiting. I woke up, I was surprised. I'm like, wow, Greenwood went to Getafe. Okay. I'm like, oh, we surprised. We signed Amrabat and we didn't have to summon Tomlin or Van der Beek, like how the report was saying. Hey, I don't know how Manchester United do it. It's a miracle.
It's it is. Well, I'm actually now, like you said your alarm for after the transfer window, because after the transfer window closed, but I told you that we're playing the quiz before the transfer window. We didn't play the quiz because you weren't here. Just so you know. Yo, but real quick, there's as we're just kind of just wrapping up the show, like just reflecting on like the transfer window and stuff. Is there a signing that surprised you at all, like even other clubs looking around, like
Gravenberch to Liverpool surprised me a lot because I know they need a DM, and you're signing, you're like, how this setup is 4-3-3. The DM, the 6-year-old, they don't have it, but they're signing every other player that's gonna be around the DM, but you're not signing the main DM.
Yeah. Bro, it's wild. It's wild. Like, yeah, Liverpool. At the end of the day, I feel like Roland was talking. We were talking about this right at the beginning of the show. That like the midfielders. Yeah, Roland, you said it really beautifully. Like about the fact that like the midfielders that they have right now, they don't look like the normal like Klopp type of midfielders. And it's like they're like they're like all similar to like Thiago profile of very slick type of like footballers that don't have the dog in them in the fight, And yeah, I don't know. I feel like for me they, it's gonna take a while for Liverpool midfield to click. So things are there. Top 4 is there for us. Top 4 is there for the taking.
Oh yeah, Chelsea's getting top 4. I already said this prediction like a long time ago. Like Chelsea somehow getting top 4. I don't know how. If they ignore the Carabao Cup, they're easy to get top 4. They don't have European football. Pochettino could just build on his team that will work for next year.
Word. Well, okay.
That we didn't touch on.
Go ahead.
If Liverpool don't take that money for Mo Salah, they're stupid. I don't care if you've given him a bag. I would take 150 million for Mo Salah right now. I don't care because obviously Saudi window closes on the 7th. So let him go. You can sit on that money till January and the summer and figure out your next move if you want to even make it. But 150 million for 31-year-old Mo Salah, I'm taking that money all day. I don't care.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's a tempting offer, But the way they rely on Mo Salah too, man. It's like if there's no Mo Salah, there's no attack in that Liverpool. Like it's
Like if they chasing Champions League this year, they're gonna fumble. Just rebuild. Throw away the season and rebuild with that money.
Yeah,
it's silly.
You have Europa. Just rebuild. Don't worry about it. Just rebuild. You get back up there. But you're trying to chase top 4, you're gonna fumble it.
It's true, man. I'm telling you.
Look at us. We're rebuilding. We did Europa League. We did every single competition, and right now we are sweating.
Yeah, I mean, plus January's coming up. AFCON, he's not gonna be there anyway. So
yeah, thank you. He ain't even gonna be there, bro. You like because Egypt, they're gonna be one of the teams that are gonna make it to the later stages. Like,
of course,
on, man. You gotta sell him.
Just let it go.
They said 200. They were saying they'll even go up to 200 million with add-ons. 200
with add-ons.
Get the bag, Liverpool.
I know my Glazers. They take that deal with them immediately.
Damn. Wow. It's wild.
They could rebuild the whole front line and midfield with that money.
Yeah. I feel like maybe they might also be a little bit of like they're too, they might be a little bit scared of like what like the instability that might happen. I don't know. There's Liverpool like they're stuck in this thing of like we want to maintain where we've been, because like not too long ago this was the Liverpool team. We were talking about Liverpool being quadruple challenges, and then everything
got the best team in EPL of all time.
Right, and then everything all just changed. It all just changed, But anyway. But going back to Man United, guys, I just want to just end the stream on more like, let's like look inward. We did a little look around and talked about other players for other teams, etc. And, and the crazy Bayern Munich, like how Bayern Munich was just, like changing their minds on last minute on deadline day. It's wild, the transfers that they've changed their mind on today. But Man United midfield right now, we have Bruno, Casemiro. We obviously, when Mount comes back, Eriksen, Amrabat, McTominay, and Kobe Mainoo when Mainoo comes back. I think Ten Hag has the tools, guys.
And Donny.
And Donny. Ooh, of course. Can't forget Donny. Can't forget Donny.
I'm actually annoyed that guy didn't take one of the loan deals, bro.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to take a loan on Real Sociedad, and that collapsed.
Yeah,
He had options though. There was Lorient in France and then Genoa in Italy.
He could have gone to Lens and at least get Champions League football. Lens is just right there. I mean, either way, again, football power hour. I'll use your quiz as a reference. We have the largest team in the Premier League. we lost Dean Henderson, and we brought in the goalkeeper. We brought in Amrabat. We have 35 now. 35 players in Manchester United, the largest team in the Premier League. Still, I do not know why we have the largest team. I do not know why.
It's called squad depth, baby. And like Ten Hag, we can easily say the Premier League is in big trouble. With Sofian Amrabat, I feel like this graphic right here, this picture represents where we are with things. You know, I'm positive about this transfer window, and I feel like, you know, we'll be good. We'll be good. It could have been better if we had like the likes of Harry Kane, etc. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, guys, I want to just say big up to everybody that tuned in and, you know, commented and hit the like button. Lil Yo-Yo, Super Nick, you know, Mustafa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And Amrabat is here. Region is here. You know, we're about to fight now. We're about to fight. Let's go, Man United. And Manchesterunited, by the way, please shout out. Oh, there we go. That's the midfield triangle that we got. Let's do some quick, like, you know, social media, whatever handles, shout outs. Where can people find you, Manchesterunited? You have a YouTube channel. Please shout it out.
Thank you so much. Football Power Hour. Make sure to like, subscribe. These are the best Friday afternoon stream out there. You can usually find me as a guest star on other people's channels. However, if you are inclined, the Manchesterunited, it is the Twitter handle. It is also the YouTube channel. I usually stream once every couple months, but most importantly, usually have a Super Bowl stream that's somewhat become a tradition. So.
Big up. And then what's the score versus Arsenal on Sunday?
Oh man, I'm going to go with a 2-1, and it's not looking good. That's my prediction.
Get out of here, man.
You know, Manchesterunited, he can add himself back in. What? We're predicting a loss, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Oh, man. All right. Omo, you've got a YouTube channel too. 2-2. Much better.
You follow me on YouTube, Almost Solo, and Twitter, Almost Solo. I forgot my Twitter name. Almost Solo DSG, I believe. Prediction for the match. It's gonna be a 2-0 win. Because if they press us, I want to see how we do against a team that press us nonstop. And if what eriktenhag wants to do, what I think he wants to do, we're gonna beat them easily if they press us. We just Bruno quarterback, smack them in the face, just create as much chance as possible. And I don't know if Haaland is starting. Like, I don't know yet.
Ooh, I like it. You know what, bro? If it's a 2-0, I feel like it'll be a great ending to the weekend on a Sunday. Oh,
teams have been sitting back, and Arsenal will be the ones to press us. So let's see how we act. If we play better that way, I expect to win.
There is that thing that they psychologically, I feel like, I mean, we need the 3 points, but Arteta might need 3 points more than a little bit than us. Yeah, we want them. They need it, you know. But anyway, yeah. Roland, what do you think, your brother? Please plug the channel as well.
Pros Only Sports on YouTube, same on Twitter. You find me on Instagram. I started a TikTok as well. Got some new content. I've got some new content coming out for the coming week, and my weekly schedule is going to be out as well. Going to be as consistent as I can from now till whenever. So let's just see what happens with that. But yeah, there's a new series coming out on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. In terms of prediction for the Arsenal game, I think we can get out of there with a 2-1 win. However, it's really about cohesion. Like, everybody needs to press in unison. They have to work hard. I have to see everybody running non-stop off the ball, and then please put away your chances, because you don't get a lot of them. That's it. If we can do that, we win the game. It's simple as. But as much as I'm saying it's simple, we know how it goes. When the game, somebody will do something stupid, and then we're one down, and then it's always game over. So
I know.
I'm just hoping for just a solid performance from start to finish. It's something that we rarely see with Manchester United. A solid 90-minute performance on both ends of the pitch. If we can get that, we have a chance of winning that game for sure.
That cohesion, that aggression, we want to be on the front foot and get that first chance, get that first goal. You know,
Take people out. Yes. Common violence. That's your job. Yeah.
I hope the message to Man United, all the Man United players, and ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say big up to you for joining us. Thank you so much. One more time, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, because this time around at the Emirates on Sunday, we will be cooking.
We will be there. We'll be there.
Oh, Arteta, watch out. Rashford versus Thomas Partey. I dare you to put Thomas Partey. It's going to be a cookout. Anyway, big up to you. Peace. Football power.